I go. I see myself. Hang on. Just wanting to make sure everything is good. You know. All right. Well, I could see myself. I think everything is great. Hey, everybody, Thursday, live office hours, helping you build a career you love. Power never goes out on us. Ooh, hopefully power doesn't go out on your career. Great to have you. Please, if you're here with me live, get in the chat, say hi, let me know where you're from, let me know what you do, let me know what you need. Put some question marks in front of your questions. Please, pretty please, it is so much easier for me to find them. And if you are in one of my programs in the Mile Walk Academy, please use your hashtag and let me know if you are a leader or a boot camper, or if you're in the interview program or the resume program or whatever you got. I'd love to give you a shout out. I also like to know what assets you have at your disposal, so when I answer your questions, I can point you to the right stuff. Okay, everything looks pretty good on my end, and I saw we had some early starters. Varun, my Canadian brother, hope you are well. Oh yes, I am sporting. You can never accuse me of not being festive, okay? And did I mention my wife and I are on the waiting list for 2 more of these little beauties? And she updates me daily on where we are in the pecking order of getting our little dachshunds, because apparently we don't have enough. According to my wife, you can never have too many. Okay, Varun, my Canadian brother, you were asking me, hey Andy, how are you? I'm doing great. Would you recommend asking the interviewer for feedback if you don't get the position? Thanks as always. Varun, great question. And Stacy and I noticed you'd asked this question. We were feverishly looking to see if the video that I've already created this very subject was available, and we couldn't find it amidst the hundreds that are waiting to be released. But I am going to give you some insight here on that question, because I know that a lot of people wonder about that. On feedback, there is a couple of things that we want you to be really careful of. If you do not get the job and you've spent time now we're talking about you've actually spent time interviewing, you've developed a relationship, meaning even if it's through the recruitment process with the people in the organization, you've gone through it, you've spoken with them, they've interviewed you, they informed you that you were not hired. First thing that you do is you check out my video on how to get the job after being rejected. We don't need to go into all what that is. It's a classy way of kind of tidying up the communication and letting them know you're thankful, and also giving them a little more insight into why you'd feel you'd be a great candidate, or would have been a great candidate. And also it tees you up to stay in touch with them and to say follow up in 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, and so on. Now, when it comes to the part about wanting to know why it was that you didn't get the job, number one, it is okay to ask. However, when you ask, point 2 is I don't want you to expect too much in the way of very, very detailed feedback. Probably because for the most part, organizations don't like to share things because they can expose themselves and run the risk of you getting upset, you filing lawsuit, them saying something improper, and it just doesn't do them a whole lot of good to give you a lot of detailed feedback. However, I would ask for it, and then if they give it to you, I would want to make sure that you do a couple things with what they give you. If they go so far as to give you insight into how they think you should develop as a professional to make you a better fit, what you could do better, communicating more effectively, being more detailed in the way in which you articulate things, any of this stuff that you would construe as something that's feedback for your personal and professional development, I want you to completely disregard. And I'll tell you why. I'm not saying I don't want you to learn something from the feedback. It's that particular type of feedback. Number one, they are not equipped. They do not know you well enough, and they don't know what's best for you, and that might be their personal opinion for what works for them individually. They might tell you, well, your answers weren't detailed enough. You'll go to the next interview with a different company and you'll try to peel back the details in your interview responses, and they'll tell you your answers weren't detailed enough, or they were too detailed, or whatever. So I don't want you to worry about all of that stuff. If they share something with you that you can map back to what I call getting better at interviewing, that is feedback that's valuable. And what do I mean by that? And we're going to need an example for this one. So if they said to me, well, Andy, we wish you would have had more experience in this particular area. Now, while that may sound like it's a developmental area and something that you were not strong in, from an interviewing performance perspective, if you truly had that experience, it could be that you didn't effectively articulate how that experience maps back to what it is they need. So your point from an interviewing growth standpoint is, okay, I need to make sure that, number one, I'm highlighting this when this becomes important to them, or I'm getting more questions about this, or if they didn't ask the question, but I'm noticing something here on the job description that calls for this. It was kind of a secondary piece of the puzzle, but something like that where you're looking back and you're reflecting on yourself. Did I communicate effectively? Did I map what I do to what they need? Did I ask the right questions and all that good stuff to help me understand what they're looking for? It's that kind of feedback, or at least at a minimum, that's the lens I would use to assess the feedback if they give you feedback. So that's how I would look at that. And I hope that helps. I do not want you all, pulling your hair out of your head. If that employer was not equipped to elicit the right information from you to connect the dots, that's on them. It's also on you that you need to make sure that you are pulling it out of them. And if you watch my interview playlist on YouTube, there's tons of videos where I talk about this. So, Veron, I hope that helps. Hope you're well, my friend, and always glad to have you at the show. All right, Nick Wright, how we doing here? Nick Wright's a big dog. Andrew, I'm in the last 3 for a CEO role. The board meets tomorrow to decide. Is there anything more I can do to put myself in front of mind and ahead of the pack at this late stage? Now, what is unclear from that is you said I'm in the last 3 for a CEO role. The board meets tomorrow to decide. I'm going to assume, based on how you phrase that the interviewing is all done. And when you say the board is meeting to decide, is there anything you can do? That at this stage, I think what's done is done as far as your performance in the interviews, assuming you don't still have an interview. And I'm going to assume that because of the way you articulated that. What I would do is I probably would have already, and it might be too late for this. Days ago, I would have sent handwritten cards to them. I would have done something that required their attention. Okay, so that's at this point, that's the only thing I can tell you, because I would have done a number of things if I was the last one to interview, or if I was in the very late rounds going into those interviews. But I won't cover that here because it sounds like that's already passed. But I wish you a lot of luck with that. I don't think there's a whole lot that you need to do other than checking in, reiterating that you're very interested. I don't think there's anything wrong with sending an email to let them know, hey, I just want to let you know I appreciate your going in for this. I want to reiterate why I feel I'm the best for the job and all that good stuff. I would have a lot more advice if you still had interviews remaining. And if you do have interviews remaining, I would have pointed you to the video that I have out there on executive level interviewing, the 12 steps that I would go through in order to succeed, something along those lines. But I wish you a lot of luck, my friend. I hope you let me know how that turns out, and maybe just come back to this. It'll be recorded in a replay on my YouTube channel. Let me know in the comments section if you got the job, and if I totally missed it. And you still have interviews and there's more you want, maybe head down to the bottom of the chat. Let us know. We'll see if we can kind of circle that in. All right, Adam Stark. Let's see. How you doing here, buddy? Do you have any advice about pushing yourself to do more work, productive work, and to get to the next level, especially when your brain goes into can't be bothered procrastination mode? Yes, I'm just giving you a video on this. 7 uncommon practices that build a great career. Check that video out. That's your answer. April, how are you? Diana, wonderful to have you from Canada, or London, Ontario. I'm assuming you mean Canada. Many thanks. You are welcome. Let's see. I think there is a question. How to answer the question, please provide us with a sense of your leadership style. How do you keep a team engaged, focused, and feeling confident about their roles? Okay, that is a wonderful question. Let me see. And then you go on. Whoa, how many of these do you have here? Hold on. I have a list of steps. Please provide a brief overview of your recent work. All right, I'll tell you what. I'm going to give you one of these. I'm going to go with the first one. How to answer. Please provide us with a sense of your leadership style. How do you keep a team engaged, focused, and feeling confident about their roles? Okay. So a couple things. This is a behavioral style interview question, even though they framed it into the future. But ultimately, they want to know what you think of leadership. So in my formula for behavioral interviewing responses, you need to give them your philosophy, the process that you went through or that you go through, and then the outcomes of what actually transpires as a result of you doing what you do or what you will do or what you did. Now, leadership. Leaders build more leaders. They don't build more followers. That's the first thing. So, in order to build leaders, there's a number of things that you need to do. And in order to build a leader, you need to inspire them to lead. So there's a certain level of leading by example that you need to do, coaching and providing guidance that you need to do, knowing when to let them go, knowing when to reel them in, and all that good stuff. So you want to explain that. That's your philosophy, right? It isn't. The greatest leaders in a company are not the ones always at the top of the totem pole, right? I've met some individual contributors that were better leaders at leading on a daily basis than managers in charge of 50 people. So you need to get that out because that's important. And if that's how you look at it, then no matter what position that you have in the organization, they will understand that you feel you are a leader. Okay, so now when a leader leads a team of people, the ultimate goal of the leader is to make that team more productive, higher powered, more output than they otherwise would do, right, as the individual parts, right? Sum is greater than, right, as a whole. In order to do that, there are a couple of things that need to be in place. Number one, you need to make sure that everybody is educated on the goal. The communication level is so important in getting people to understand why they're doing what they're doing and how they fit in and how they are contributing to the overall goal of the team. If there's no education on that, you're significantly handicapping an individual's ability to do that and contribute for the greater good. So that's the first thing. The second thing is they need to have protocols, processes, and places, standards, so that they know kind of how the engine works together and what steps to follow. All right, they have to have structure. However, in order to maximize the output of the team, it isn't just having a structure and everybody doing what they're supposed to be doing and contributing to what they're supposed to be contributing. You also need to get each individual's output maximized so that when they are following the protocols, the routines, the methods, the practices, and so on, they are operating at 100%. All right, that part means that you put the programs, the protocols in place, but that you are spending time with each individual doing a couple of things, right? You are inquiring to them what they want to get out of it, what they want to learn, how they like to work with you, what level of guidance, input, monitoring, and so forth works best with them. And then you need to learn what they respond to. So you could have a team of 5 people. This one needs a hug in the morning. This one needs a pat on the back. This one needs you to kick him in the butt, right? So each individual person is an individual, even though they're operating as a team. So I spend the time to speak with them, educate them, get what inspires them, get what motivates them, then operate my behavior with them to maximize that individual, so that when they are contributing to the greater good, they are firing on all cylinders, and so on, right? So when you do that and you know how to respond to somebody, you are able to help them build their confidence. Now, we can really get into like self-esteem and all that great stuff, but confidence is built, okay? It is built. And how is it built? It's built by continually doing something over, getting better at it, falling, getting back up, doing it again. You repeat the process over and over and over. As a leader, the one thing that I can do is help them and make sure that they're taking the proper steps, and we're stretching them, and I'm encouraging them that they should, right, try these things. I know you're going to make a mistake. Don't you worry about it, right? We're going to fix it. This is what's important. If you're running into trouble, you communicate back with me. Everything will be great. Right? There is a level of communication that lets these people know that you want them to be aggressive in their development. And there's sort of lines that you want them to stay within, but also ways in which you want them to stretch themselves, and so on. Now, I mean, you could go like, I mean, that is a boom, 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 top-down answer. You get hired with that one. But that's how I would approach that. You can, and there's a little more to it, but I mean, I think you get the gist and what you'll need from that. But that is the ultimate answer to what's your leadership style behavioral interview question. I mean, that is how you want to go it. And you know what? Let's throw in there, because I think you had another question about something about experience as it relates to X management. But what I just gave you. How do you manage a team? How do you lead a team? What's your leadership style? Insert any analogous question there, and you're good to go. All right. Hope that helps you, Diana. That was a good one. Really good one. Hey, you know what we should do? It's 11:15. I got me some Andy trivia questions here. Oh, wait. I hope you didn't see the answers. Who could tell me what my favorite number is? And the first person who can tell me what my favorite number is, I told you on Monday what my favorite number was. Whoever can tell me what my favorite number is, I will give you your choice of my resume writing workshop, or my interview collection of programs, or 3-month pass to my leadership coaching program. And if you have all those, well, I'll figure something else out. But who can tell me? I might even wait for this. So Stacy and Kara on the lookout, and I'm assuming. I do see Ruth over on LinkedIn, so I'm pretty sure we've got that in order. And welcome to y'all on Facebook and LinkedIn. Medina T wins. Oh, did we just give Medina? Okay, Medina. You know what? You get another. I think you just got. Wait, let's see. Medina. Oh man, you're really tapping my memory here. Can you tell me if you actually won something and selected 3 months in my leadership program? Because if you did that, I'll just extend it to a year. And I'll give you, that's like, I don't know how much that's worth, but I would be willing to do that, because I think it was you who, she has a month leadership. Okay, so Medina, if you want, she has a month. Kara, I think there's a typo in what. Medina, if I remember correctly, because I think I saw your face on the Zoom session with us. I think that was you. Hopefully I'm not wrong. And if it was, and you have, I think I might have given you a 3-month. And if you are, if that's, Kara, you got to be more clear on that. What are we looking at here? All right, Kara, tell me what that is, because I need to know if she's on the paid monthly, or if I gave her the 3 months. Can you tell me what that is? And let's go on to Laura. If you're wondering where she got the answer from, every single day I put out, Monday through Friday, and I haven't missed. Episode 30 went out today. On Monday, it was episode 27, and I said, hey, that's my favorite number, and you never know when that might be the answer to a trivia question. So, Medina, thank you for following along. If you're not following me on Instagram, follow me on Instagram. 2 motivational quotes a day, 1 book card a day. I give you 2 career development videos and 1 selfie tip. The selfie's a new one every day. They're all new. They're not circulated anywhere else. I mean, they go out on the Instagram platform. That Instagram gets the most content of any of the platforms. If you're not connected with me on LinkedIn, please do that. I'd love to be connected with you. If you don't know how to connect with me, go to my profile. There is a follow button. Don't hit the follow button. Hit the little 3 dots next to it or whatever. There's a drop down. It'll say connect. Then hit it connect. Send me a message and just say, Andy, hey, man, I was on your live show today. You were giving Medina some stuff. Would love to connect. Okay, you gave her 1 free month. Let's be generous. Give her the whole year. Let's not have her worrying about that. That is a $600 value, but when you buy it all as a year, it's a $297 value. Medina, thank you for playing. Great to have you, and glad you're going to be a leader for a year. Okay, I got more trivia questions coming. All right, Andy, Laura, how are you? What's the big takeaway from your triathlon cancellation last week? When are you putting together your course on that? Okay, I actually, so Laura is asking me, so October 3rd, couple days ago, I was supposed to do a half Ironman, so that's 70.3 miles, a triathlon, swim, bike, and run. And it got canceled because of COVID. You can't have all those people running around next to each other and bumping into each other in the lake and riding over each other on the bike and running next to each other in the half marathon that you finish it out with. So I wrote you an email with a bunch of lessons in it. I'm just going to send it to you, but I didn't have time to finish it all and get all the pictures I wanted in it. So that is coming. Thank you for that. I think the big lesson, though, because I do appreciate the question. The one thing that I will say that I would love for you to take away about goals. So a year ago, meaning like this past weekend, a year ago, I signed up for an Ironman triathlon and swimming lessons on this very same day. I mean, I couldn't even swim the length of a pool, 25 meters, okay, without making sure that somebody was there who was trained on a defibrillate, right? Like they actually knew how to like grab me out of the pool and resuscitate my heart if I needed to. But I signed up for this lofty goal. Now, I could run and I could bike, but it's still a lot of hours consecutively of doing all this stuff. And I certainly didn't know how to swim in open water where I could barely swim when there was, a line underneath the pool when I had my goggles and I can see it. So I have really transformed my swimming. I can go really far, miles and miles of swimming without huffing and puffing and all in a row, all that good stuff. Can swim in the open water. And the big message that I would say to you is your goal. So when the race got canceled, I wasn't happy or sad. It just was. I couldn't control it at all. But the goal and the work and the journey did what it was supposed to. It transformed me and it showed me what I was able to do and what I could do. And I can do things now at 54 that I've never done in my life ever. Now, that's not to say I couldn't do them at 30, but setting goals is about transforming yourself. It's about gaining a transformation mark, not a check mark. A lot of people have a lot of goals that they tick off. It's more like a to-do list, the things that they can already do. And so when you set your goals, go big, and it's about who you become in the process. It's not nearly as important as whether you actually cross the finish line. Now, I'll go. So my goal was to do a half Ironman this year and then a full Ironman next year. But I will just do a half Ironman next year and then maybe a full Ironman the following year. But the one thing that I did learn also is that I know what it's like to do that level of training. I mean, I train over 20 hours a week. Actually, you know what? Let's throw another trivia question out there. Who is the first person that can tell me how many workouts I have? I told you this one the other day. How many workouts I do in a week? So excluding stretching, excluding any meditation, excluding any of that stuff, how many actual workouts do I have in a week? Who can tell me that? I'll give you some stuff. All right. Diana, man, you got so many questions here, but I'm going to zip on down. Let's see. What format, how deep, what content is best to craft our story for you? Laura, for any to hear, I'm not sure what that is. I believe I read your story. I'm not sure what that question is. All right, who got the number of workouts? Come on, that's a quick one. You can take a guess. All right, April J, current leasing agent, union rep. I want my resume to scream contracts negotiate. Saul. So, okay, wait. All right. Saul's right. 12 workouts. 3 swims, 3 bikes, 3 runs, 3 strength trains every week. That's right. That's 2 a day for 6 days a week. But it's really at least 1 a day for every day and 3 on 1 day of the week. And Saul, you know what? Let me know what would be most helpful for you, my friend. I mean, you got everything already. Maybe I could have a look-see at your resume or something like that if you want. I would be happy to do that for you. If you want to send me your resume, I'll give it a Andy once over. Maybe that's something that might be helpful to you because I know you're a boot camper and a leader. So you let me know. You know where to find us. All right, April J. Current leasing agent, union rep. I want resume to screen contracts, negotiations, labor relationships, HR skilled. Is it okay to downplay my main job and uplift a secondary one? My goal is to work in HR. All right, April. That is phenomenal. Okay, Stacy, can you find the video on the internet? It's on YouTube. I think it might be in multiple places, but there's one on YouTube about how to get the employer to notice your early work experience. I think that's the title, Stacy. That's what April needs. And April, don't worry, I'm not just going to leave you here on that one because I think this requires a little bit more color because of what you asked. So, general statements here. The resume is a marketing document. It is not a work history document. Repeat after me. It is a marketing vehicle to get you to where you want to go. It is not a history document of where you've been. Yes, you use what you've done and you put it in the right form and highlight the things you want the employer to see so that they get an impression, the one you want them to have about you, what you do, what you can do, who you are, and all that good stuff. Okay, so April, up top in the career profile, yes, it is okay to highlight that your secondary activity as one of your major activities in the highlights section. So this is the Andy LaCivita School of Resume Writing, where you should have 3 highlights. I recommend 3. People like things in 3s. So in the highlights section, you can talk about all the HR stuff if you want, or whatever it is that you want, or maybe 2 HRs and 1 other thing. Or you could even talk about like labor relations. Awesome. But negotiating contracts is still, that can be an HR styled thing, right? You're working with vendors, you're negotiating with vendors, maybe you're working on benefits, payroll stuff, other things where you're negotiating contracts. All that stuff can be put in the highlights. So yes, the answer is it is okay to do that. Yes, I would tailor especially the top half of your resume. The other thing is when you get into the body, so when I say body, I mean the work experience section or the professional experience section. When you get into the body of the resume, and you should have your company, your title, and then a description underneath the title of the housekeeping stuff that you do. It's like the mundane afterthoughts that you do within that role, that job title, and you can highlight HR activities such as. You can do things like that. And that also shapes the story with that constant reinforcement of getting their thoughts to where you want them to go. Check that out. Check that video out about how to get the employer to notice your early work experience. For any of you, let me be clear about for April and for others, it isn't, you got to remember something about these videos. I have to title them something, and I try to be very specific as to what you are going to learn in the video of mine that you're going to watch, because I am fanatical about being congruent with what I'm telling you is inside my offer, which in this case is a video, and what you're about to look at. And so the lion's share of that video had to do with somebody asked a question, somebody like April, who wanted to get back to something that she had done earlier. Okay, she did something, and then maybe she did 10 years of something else, and then she wanted to get back to that. So in that lesson, I was teaching her about, well, how do you get them to focus on something that isn't the most recent thing that you did? So that's what I titled the video, because I like to be very congruent, and I don't like to clickbait stuff, okay? So April, when I'm pointing you back to that video, and anybody else who wants to go back to that video, the general gist of the video is about how do you get the employer to notice what you want the employer to notice. If what you want to notice, what you want the employer to notice is what you're doing right now, that's simple, right? You just highlight what you're doing, right? It's the first thing that they see in the professional experience section. It's the oddity, right? It's somebody who wants to change careers. It's somebody who doesn't have the requisite experience. It's somebody like April who has multiple streams of experience or multiple functions to her role. So check that video out. And that's a little bit about that video. It's a little bit about the way I roll. And April and everyone, good luck on that one. I mean, I just think it's a really great video if you want to understand how you can control the story, control the narrative, as I like to say, and as everybody likes to say. But I think will really, really help you. Okay, good to go on that. All right, I'm waiting to get to David Mills. Let me see. Hang on, guys. I have multiple chats that I use, and until I can get to, let's see, Ruth, my boot camper. Let me see. I see you. Oh wait, no, that's a different Ruth. Hang on. Ruth Morose, how are you? I've been slowly building my network on LinkedIn, but I'm unsure how this will help me land a job in my next role. I'm not finding any jobs within my network. Okay, Ruth, fantastic question. There are a couple of things, and let's give you something fruitful here. So the first thing is, yes, you want to get on LinkedIn. So should I be on LinkedIn? Yes. Should I build out my network? Yes. Get connected to all the people that you know, people you used to work with, and all that good stuff. Now you build the network, okay? Now, one of the things that people do is then they start calling their network, seeing if there's anything open at their job companies and this and that. That's not what I do. Build your network and build it every day. Try to connect with people that you know, or reach out to people and get connected with them any which way you want, okay? I like to do a couple of things. First thing is, I like to figure out where I want to go, okay? So find the companies first. So based on what I want to do, where do I want to go? That's the first question I ask myself. Well, first question I asked myself was, what do I want to do? Right? Kind of company, kind of role, my purpose, my why, my all that. Get all the self-awareness stuff in order, get all my requirements in order. I get that in order, and then I start building a target company list. My network's hanging out over here. They're waiting for me. So I'm looking at where I want to go. Then I do what's called a relationship map. Okay, I want to go over to here. How can I get there? Okay. Well, Ruth, if you've put together all these people, you're connected to them. Are they connected to anybody at the Mile Walk Academy? Right? So you ask your friend to then refer you to me or Kara or Stacy or the vendors we work with that are connected to us. Okay? So you're routing and trying to go through a referral. Okay? That's one part. Now, here's the other part. Well, maybe you're seeing something over here and you're not connected to anybody, obviously. Well, you go right to me directly and you use some of my other techniques like boss hunting and all that other stuff where you're reaching out directly, or recruiter hunting, or HR hunting, or teammate hunting, and you go right to the spot you want to be. Now, that's a cold connection. This could be a warm connection, but that's how you do that. And then you mix it up with, okay, I've got 100 friends. Let's look at where those 100 friends are. You can hit a button on LinkedIn. I'm not going to go through how to do this. Go to the LinkedIn help. Say, how do I export my contact list? I think last time I did it, you can do it in 2 forms. You can do it like a quick form, like name, rank, serial number, email, whatever, company name. Or you can get like all the full details. Just get the name, get the company, get the whatever. You export them. These are only going to be first degree connections. Okay, so however many you have. And then what you can do is you can sort them and look at, okay, well, where they work. And that might give you an idea of, oh, another way to go to a company is to go through somebody I know. Now, that's the backwards way of looking at it. So I'm a where do I want to go, how do I get there kind of guy. But it's also nice to say, well, who do I know and where do they work? Now, why is that important? Well, I've worked with 10,000 people in my life. Like people I worked with at Anderson Consulting, now Accenture, all the zillions of clients that I worked with, all the people I worked with at Inforte, all the people I worked with at Fathom Solutions, all the people I met as a recruiter and so on, right? I got all these connections. What do? They move around. Right? So-and-so I used to work with at such and such, or I knew when they left this company, they were at company XYZ. Well, they ain't there anymore, and they're at company, DEF. And so they're at company DEF. I didn't know that. They didn't let me know that they moved. That's okay. We're busy. But now I see, oh, he's over at such and such. Wait, oh, he looks like he works with those people over at company XYZ. Right? And so even stuff like that will help you. But it's really good. It's kind of like, what's that now? You vacuum the rug this way, you get all the dirt out, right? It all comes up, and then the dust settles. But Ruth, that's how to look at that. And I think that that's a really great way of understanding how you can use LinkedIn to get to where you want to go. But I just think it's better to figure out where you want to go and then figure out how to get there. But then secondarily, see who you know and see where they work and see if there's a possibility that you want to go there. You might not have even known that. All right, hope that helps. That's great. That's a great question. All right. Let me see. How we doing here? Lisa Caputo. Lisa Caputo, I already know I'm going to like this one. All right, why are online applications such like that is Taleo now asking references up front? How do you prepare your references when you don't even know if you will get an interview? Thanks, and you are welcome for what I'm about to tell you. All right, Stacy, I know we got a references one out there. I don't remember seeing it, so that means it's in the pile of 200 that still need to go out. Can you think me up that thing if we have it and let me know if we can also add that to what I'm about to tell her. All right, so Lisa, anybody who is filling in an application, okay, I want to be very clear about what I'm saying. I am not talking about you're on the phone with somebody and the third-party recruiter is asking you for references, or the corporate recruiter is asking you for references. I'm talking about you're just starting the process, and most of them will ask for references up front. It is an easy way. This is the online app in the online application. It is an easy way for them to house people that they will need to call, assuming you will be successful. What I would do is you're starting out your job search. Who are the 3 people that you want to be your references? These could be the 3 people that love you the most, 3 supervisors I would try. If you can't get supervisors, try a teammate or even a staff member if you were a leader of a team, a customer. Just get 3 references, okay? When you fill in the application, just go fill them in. Do not sweat this. Just fill them in. What's going to happen is they're going to then see that Lisa Caputo is a nice lady, and we're going to call her in for an interview. We're going to screen her. We're going to take her all the way down to the end. We're going to give her a job offer. Okay. Before and during the whole process as you get down to the end. Okay, don't worry. You fill the references in. Don't worry about them until all the way through. You get down to the end. Lisa, you're going to get the offer because I know you've been studying my stuff, right? They say, Lisa, we're going to give you an offer. Could you give us your 3 references or confirm that we can call your 3 references? Okay? They're going to look at the references. You know who you provided. Now, you've had all this time to go through the interviewing process. You know if they want the references, that's a good sign. That they're talking to you about, hey, we want to call the references. You now know if those 3 you initially provided are the best references for you based on what you learned in the interview process. Okay, this is really important because if they're talking to you about, hey, we really need your leadership skills and I really need somebody who knows this kind of team building for this kind of product base and so on, but you didn't give them person to talk about your leadership skills or the person to talk about your expertise doing that product or whatever, okay, whatever it is. You go down the end, you say, you know what? I gave you 3 references, but actually one of those is still great. 2 of those, because you were so interested in these areas of my background, you know, it would be better if you actually called Susie over at such and such and Tommy over at such and such, because she worked with me and can really speak to my leadership skills, and he worked with me and can really speak to my whatever, right? And you swap them out. No problem. Now, most of the time, companies don't even call these references. And even if they do, they don't know what they're doing. It is very, very difficult to actually elicit information from somebody who loves you to try to get them to say anything other than how awesome Lisa Caputo is. Okay, so most people are just not skilled at that line of questioning. So I wouldn't really sweat that. What you want to do is pick 3 people who will speak glowingly about you, and don't worry about up front if you have to put them in. Now, I'm going to give you a word of caution. Okay, Lisa, that's packaged. Word of caution. For anybody, let's take the corporate recruiter. Anybody who gets engaged with the corporate recruiter and in the screen, they ask you for your references. You give them same kind of thing. Just assume this screener's an online person, same technique. I'm going to give you the 3 references, but please, since this is early in the process, my search is confidential, whatever, please do not call them unless we get down to the end. Plus, if we go through the process and we love each other, then I want to make sure that I'm giving you the best references. And since I don't know all that yet, and we haven't gone through the interview process, please don't call these people. No problem. Okay, that's that person. Executive recruiter calls you. You're on the phone. It's Lisa Caputo, you look awesome. It's Andy LaCivita over at Mile Walk Inc. I need 3 references. You say, Andy, what the hell you need those for? I'm not giving them to you, okay? If it's the first screen with an executive recruiter, third-party recruiter, or anybody who is going to require any kind of time with you to work with you on behalf of somebody else, do not give them information like that up front, okay? All they're doing at that point is building up their own database. That's it. An executive recruiter does not need references to know if you are an awesome candidate for what they're searching for. That should be up to them, right? They're highly trained at evaluating and know what their clients need. They should know whether you're a good fit based on the initial discussion. And if it gets down to the end, in 99.9% of the several hundred people that I have ever placed as an executive recruiter, at the end, I will go and work with Lisa to get her references, and she and I will discuss who these references are, how she knows them, what their phone numbers are, what their emails are, when they can be called, and this and that. And then I will provide those to my client, and that's it. That's all you need to do. Do not be hoodwinked by people who want to get that information from you up front before they even know who you are or whether you're a fit for one of their clients, because they're just trying to add people to their database, so then they'll go call those people about jobs. Okay, don't do it. All right, I think that covers references. All right, so good luck on that one, Lisa, and I hope that gives you a good idea of how to go about that, what to expect, what to do, and what not to do. Cool. All right. And look at that. My mom, Miss Amelia. Love you lots too, Mom. You're my whole life. You and Linda are my whole life. And not Kara and Stacy too, plus Danielle and Michelle. Hey, you never know when those are going to be trivia questions. All right. Speaking of, is it time to give something else away? Can I? Okay, wait. Oh, sorry. Hey, Lisa. Stacy's telling me we have a video about alerting your references that we have released, and I'm guessing Stacy already put it in the chats. Okay, here we go. For a boot camp. So I'm giving away a job search boot camp with this. You gotta go 3 for 3, just the way I said it. Okay? Who can tell me what my success formula is, 3 parts, to producing great results? Who can do that? And you know what? I'm going to take a sip of water, and I know Stacy and Kara are going to have to look, but for my job search bootcamp, a $600 value, it is a $6,000 value, actually, when everything is said and done. You tell me what those 3 things are. All you need to do was watch the note card. I got the note card right here with the answers on it that I flashed on my video on Tuesday, I think it was. The selfie video I did on the Instagram. Tell me what those are. 3 things. You got to get them right. It's 4 total words. 1 word, and 2 words. What are they? Okay, let's see how fast we can get that. All right. I'm dying to know. Come on, this is not hard. I mean, I literally held the thing up for you. I told you what it was. And wait, I see Kara typing. Hold on, who's the lucky winner? It's very exciting to see Kara is typing. Kara might have had to check. Yes, Medina. All right, Medina, I just gave you the leadership program for a year. I understand. So now people are going to cheat. All right, you know what? I tell you what, Medina's on her game. Let's see if anybody got it quickly thereafter. See, this is what happens when you're on the live show, and your brain is so focused on you guys. Kara is typing. I got a backup one. Now I'm seeing Kara and Stacey are type. Rasha is already that's actually not the answer. So that's actually not the answer. Okay, Rasha. Is Rasha in? All right, Rasha, I know you're a boot camper already. Are you in the leadership program? Rasha, if you are not in the leadership program, I will give you a year in the leadership program. Okay? If you are not. Okay. So Rasha got it. She crushed it. Kara, you just need to tell me if she's not in the leadership program, which should be, give her a year of that. Okay. Live office hours where we give stuff away. All right, let me get on to more questions because we're rolling today. Rami, hey Andy, greetings from Kuwait. Greetings to you, my friend. I wonder what time it is there. Big thank you for all your inspiring videos. Extremely helpful. Still learning from you. I will join the boot camp for sure once my circumstances get better. I would love to have you. All right, 2 days ago, I had first interview in person with the line manager and the general manager. They got back on the same day and told me second interview shall be with the CEO and regional director. Awesome. Any advice? And then you got a third one. How long should I wait to follow up with them concerning the second interview date? Let's go backwards. Okay, follow up. Don't worry about it. If you said that you had a they both let you know that it was 2 days ago. No problem. I would give them the week. These are senior people, right? So senior people. So I would give them a week. I would not be too concerned. After about a week, just check in, say, hey, thanks. I'm really looking forward to getting connected. Any more insight into when this might be? For you, very simply, I would go to that video that I recommended for Nick on executive level interviews, 12 steps to win the interview. I can't remember what I think I said executive level interviewing. It's like 12 steps to get the job or something like that, but there's 12 key things that you got to do. You just got to watch that video. It's 20 minutes. I also have another video out there on 3 keys to getting a senior role. That's what I would do. One other thing for you, Rami, and for Nick too. I talked about this a few weeks ago. One of the most effective tips I can give you as a senior person, by the way, any of you, even if you're a junior person, but just think about doing this in your storytelling. If you're telling a story about how you would do something, so first I would do this, next I would do that, next I would do that, and next I would do that. And so that's how I would solve that. That's how I would build that out. That's how I would market to that region. That's how I would build out the team, whatever it is. Sell the product, count for the books. Very senior people, this is a must, is as you're going through the process, you want to insert the problems that are going to occur before you get to the next stage. So, the first thing that I would do is I would go out and I would do the customer segments and I would evaluate this, that, and the other thing. I would find where 80% of the revenue is coming from, and then I would create a pilot group that we would build this thing to, then to market this to that. And then, after we do that, we're going to find out that we're going to encounter this problem. And the reason that I know that is because you always do, or the 18 other times I've did it, we've always encountered that. If you have the experience and you know that. And so we need to be ready for this, and then here's how I would solve that problem, and then we would go on to the next stage. Or if you haven't encountered the problem yet, but you think through you should pretty much know the kind of stories you're going to have to tell in a senior interview. Okay, this is not like, I don't know what I'm going to be talking about. When you go in there, you think about all the problems that can occur in each of the stages, and then you talk matter of factly, like, okay, before we get to that stage, I know, we're gonna likely encounter this problem. So here's what I would do. You don't even have to say, I did it 18 times before, even if you've never done it. You say, and I would expect that we could possibly encounter this. Okay, when you do that, this is what happens to their heart rate. Oh God, I'm never gonna have to worry about anything with that guy. Right? Like, oh man, that's so comforting to know that they've been through all the BS that we. Now, one of two things makes them do that. Like, yeah, I know we already had that problem, or yeah, we had that problem last time, or you're genius because you said something that was so awesome they didn't think about it until you said it, and now you look even smarter. Okay, either way, you get points for that. You want to make sure you talk about the problems before they introduce the problems. So here's what happens. When you tell the ideal story, right? When you tell the ideal story, the golf ball's just laying there on the mat on the driving range with no wind, right? And so here's how I swing. They said, what if the ball's buried in the sand? Then what do you do, right? Then you have to change your club angle, this, that, and the other thing, right? Like, just you want to make sure that they do not introduce the problems in the story. Okay, hang on, that sounds great, but what happens if? You never want them to say, what happens if? The less what happens ifs that they insert, the better your answer is, okay? So you got to remember that. So Rami, Nick, those are the kind of things that bring home senior level jobs. It's just one very important tactic. But tell the story. As you're telling it, insert the problem, insert solution. Okay, insert problem, insert solution, right? And believe me, if you got a long story to tell and you've got many stages, you're getting lots of problems. Now, you don't have to bog it all down with all the problems. Just say, generally, these are the problems we're going to encounter. We can easily handle them this way. You can say it in seconds, or you could take a whole minute, or you could take 5 minutes, depending on what the problem is. But that is a very, very key tactic for anybody, but especially for senior folks. So go get them. Go get them, my friend. Hope that helps. Okay. Let's see. You didn't tell me if Rasha has the leadership program. I'm dying to know that. All right, Wayne's email. Hey, Andy, from your list of 75 questions to interview the employer, what would be the primary ones to ask HR in the initial phone screen? Okay, couple things. Wayne, thank you for teeing this up. Folks, I always have my books with me. If you don't know what Wayne is talking about when he says 75 questions, it's a couple things. This book, I give away for free. I will mail it to you anywhere in the U.S. I pay the shipping costs and the manufacturing costs and everything, except I ask you to chip in a few bucks because I have envelope costs, I have service fee costs because the guy's got to pick it, pack it, get it to the post office, and off it goes. There's a $30 book. Even if you bought the ebook, it's $8.99 on Amazon or iTunes. Okay, so for $7, you can have this book. You get the ebook, which I'll give you. You will get the audio book recorded by yours truly as well. In that package, okay, so ebook, audiobook, book, because this takes a week or two to get to you. I have an ebook that I charge $27 for, that people buy it for $27 off the website, called How to Interview the Employer, 75 Great Questions to Ask Before You Take Any Job. That has 75 questions. Inside this book, there are 39 questions, okay? There are 39 from here, and then we added another 36 that Kara and I thought up of, okay? And those are in a nice booklet for you. They're all sectioned and everything like that. Now, Wayne is asking me, of those 75, which ones would I ask HR? So there's a couple things I want to mention. With HR, first thing I want you to do, Wayne, is go watch my video on 6 big questions to ask in your interview screen, okay? So when you're interviewing with HR or the recruiter, it's more or less the same. Usually, not always, you're interviewing with them first and last, meaning you kind of kick off with them and you kind of close up with them. Lots of times, right? You're talking about benefits, you're talking about other things. Maybe you're talking about more cultural fit and those kind of things at the end, or at the beginning and at the end. Okay, now when you start to think about your recruitment screen, the recruitment screen in that video that I just mentioned is about you asking questions to elicit information that's going to sell you and also get information so that you can operate effectively through the rest of the interview process, which this information will greatly help you do. Those 6 questions that I would suggest asking. Now, I want to talk about the types of questions in general that I would focus on with HR. Ask them about the company, ask them about the culture, ask them to describe the culture, right? What type of people fit in general in the company. Okay, I would also ask them what kind of people generally fit well into the position. But don't ask them all the bits and bytes of the position. They're the human resources people or the recruiters. They don't do the job. All right. Landscape of the recruitment process. What have you noticed? Why haven't you hired somebody? Why is the position open? Those kinds of things. Company related, some of the role stuff, very culture oriented, which I lump into company, okay? And all that good stuff related to that. I would not get down to the bits and bytes of the role and specifically what would I be doing every single day, every single minute, this and that. I might ask about the boss. What's the boss looking for? What's that person like to work with? I just would love to know that. What kind of person is he or she? Those kinds of things. Okay, there's plenty of those questions, but you can categorize them that way. But focus on the ones in the company grouping, some of the ones in the role, and I would ask some questions about the boss, meaning the characteristics of the boss. So that's what I would do there, and I hope you grab the booklet. Maybe Kara, I'm sure she's already dropped that in the chat, and good enough on that one. And then Rasha, congratulations on being a leader for a whole year. I love that you are paying attention to the videos. Again, if you're not connected up with me on Instagram, please do. On LinkedIn, connect up with me directly. If you are not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do. If you're liking the session, click the like button. Share this with people. I'll leave this up there and you can check it out. One other quick announcement is I've got a Speaking of Leadership program. Next Friday, October 16th, I have a leadership session with my leaders. We meet on Zoom. I teach. They get a great lesson, live lesson. I teach. It's powerful. There's a workbook with all the details of the lesson. We pull them up on the camera. We do some case studies, meaning like they come up on camera. We see each other, all that good stuff. And this a week from Friday, the session is on leadership communication that produces results. So it is about how do you tee up information, communicate, everything from what you write initially to the calendar invites and the way you send them to the subject matters, the agendas, the actual interaction itself, and how to elicit inspired responses from people, whoever you're dealing with. So it's going to be awesome. You can try that program out, try it out for a month. For $49, you can look at the whole thing. If you are in my job search boot camp, it's $39 a month. Or if you want to pay for the year, it's $297. It's a great, great program. We got tons of stuff that is career development related. It's not job searching related, although a lot of the content in there will help you with your job search. I know a lot of you here today are with me because of you need job search help or career development help, but it's really a great program, and there's a ton of bonuses. You also get my Career Accelerator program, which is $400. No matter what option you choose, whether monthly or annually. If you get in on the annual package, you get the Career Accelerator $400 program. You get my Goal Setting Masterclass $200 program, and you get those. I mean, it's really awesome. And you get the monthly lessons and archives, and then you can come to the shows. We do it every 4 weeks. I mean, it's like clockwork. It's so fun. And then one other thing is we do have a live job search boot camp coaching session on October 22nd. So I think not next Thursday, but the Thursday after. If you are on the fence about getting in my job search boot camp and you want to jump in, you can go to the site. It's $597. If you want to grab it there, that's fine. If you email us at support@milewalk.com and say, hey, Kara, Andy said I could have $100 off the base package if I emailed you. Can you give me the link, the private link, or the discount code, or however we do that? I think we embed a discount for you. We'll send it to you. I want you to jump in, go through the program, and then come on Thursday the 22nd and ask me anything you want, or ask me in the system. It's fully supported. I give you online support. I'm in there every single day answering questions. At a minimum once a month we meet, but usually it's like maybe almost 30 sessions this year where I get together just privately with the boot campers. So it's really a lot of fun. That session's on October 22nd, but there's plenty of time to get in, go through the program, and get all the assets. Figure out how you need help, what you know. We are sliding into one of the best. I know some of you are probably really struggling. Like, Andy, what are you talking about? But we're heading into October is really tough in general, but November and December, things are going to really pick up. They will. It is the best time, November, December, January, February, to look for a job. October's the worst time. So get in, start looking at the stuff. Let me know what questions you have. Come to the sessions, and we'll get you primed for the best season of the year. COVID be damned. It doesn't. I know it affects some industries, but believe me, people are getting hired. They really are. People have job openings if you know where to look. All right, I hope that helps on that. Let's get some more questions answered. It's so funny. I'm going through this chat, and I've got multiple chats, and I didn't get over to, I'm still going. I still don't, I know what maybe happens. Sorry, I'm talking to myself, folks. You do that when you get to be my age. All right, let's see. Dana, how you doing? Hope you're still riding that bike, baby. Portia, Alexis, hey, Annie, any tips on connecting with people within a company after applying for a job? I mean, I am networking, but at the same time, I am needing a job ASAP. Portia, everyone, I do not recommend that while you are in the interviewing process, you are connecting with a lot of people at the company. I really do not. I feel like it's okay. It is a good idea to try to connect with them before you get the interviews. Once the interviews start, I would not be sending connection requests to anybody. I really would not. It becomes awkward and weird if you don't get the job. And I feel like it's okay to do that if the interviewer says, hey, Portia, this is great. You should send me a LinkedIn connection request. Let's stay connected when you're in the process. If they overtly say that, I would do that. Otherwise, I would not be connecting with anybody. I really would not. I would be spending all of my time focusing on how to kick butt in that job interview. And I have a lot of job interview videos in my interview playlist on the YouTube channel. I would focus on that. I would not recommend doing that. I don't recommend doing that. I don't recommend sending connection requests to people at target companies. I simply don't. I recommend you send them an in-mail or an email. Get dialogue going. Then ask permission to connect. And if they are okay with that, then you do and you take it from there. But I cannot stand when, okay, so I'm an open network. When somebody sends me a thing, just connection, note, I accept it. Okay, no problem. I'm happy to do that. I'm telling you to do that. But when they send me a message that says, hi, Andy, I'm looking to connect with coaches who are looking to expand their business, blah, 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 a connection request, I ignore. Okay, because what's going to happen? I'm going to accept it, and then immediately they're going to start asking me for something. And I would much rather them send me a message in an in-mail or an email and say, hey, this is my business. Are you in need of my services? And we're great and touted and all this and that. If you were a job seeker, I would rather you send a message to somebody, a potential teammate or a boss or whatever, and articulate your value to them or why you want to connect, why you want to get in touch with them. But it is highly presumptuous to just send. We're getting loose and fast on LinkedIn, and that's fine. And if somebody connects with you, that's great. I just don't think you're doing yourself any favors or your brand, right? It just isn't effective. It isn't. So I caution you there. Michael Moore, my boot camper, how you doing? And Dana, what do you got here? DFP79, I'm sending out boss hunting letters and networking emails and keep following up but not getting any responses. Any tips? I'm trying to be optimistic yet frustrated like many others desire a job ASAP. Stacy, do we have the marketing, don't do this, do that video? Let's give that to Dana. I say this every week, and Dana, I'm going to say it real briefly here, but I think we've got a clip and a cut of this. I will tell you this. Your search is like a funnel, right? At the top of the funnel is wide. There are a lot of initial invites that you send out, emails, boss hunting letters, targeting teammates, targeting network, whatever it is. And then some of them get back to you, and some of them turn into interviews, and some of them, right, one of them hopefully turns into a job opportunity that you love. The biggest problem that most of you have is that you are not spending enough time sending enough of the right emails to the right people at the top of the funnel. So the marketing part of your funnel is broken. And inside the funnel, this is the whole, okay, they're reading it, you're following up, do you have the right credentials, and so on. Most people are spending time down here when they should be spending time up top. So if the first problem is most of you, Dana, obviously I'm not sitting there with you, and I have never talked to you, even though we communicate through the chats and stuff like that, but I haven't actually seen what you're doing, what you're sending, to whom you're sending it, and so on, because it matters if you're targeting the right people, if you're targeting the right places and the right roles, or the companies that would need somebody like you, or any of that stuff. It matters. So the first thing is most people are not sending enough. They're sending some, and then they're getting some responses, and then they're dwelling in the middle. Don't get me wrong. You need to make sure that you're working the middle of your funnel, But what most of you are doing, because I get the emails every day and I get the YouTube comments every day and I get things on my blog and things in the chat every week, is you're spending too much time worrying in here. They didn't get back to me. What do I do? I followed up with them. They're not getting back. What should I say? Screw them. Okay? Screw that. All right? Send out the right messages, and then I would be obsessed with two things. Number one, how do I send more of these? And number two, when I'm sending them, what's happening? What kind of person's getting back to me? Are they not getting back to me? What template did I use? What did I say in that template? What did I highlight? What font did I use? When did I send it? What time of day did I send it? What day of the week did I send it? I mean, I would be looking at every single thing to find the pattern that works on the front end. Okay? This is the same thing with us, right? I want to try to find people and attract people. That's my front end, right? Can people discover me? I put the honey out. Then what do? Then I communicate with you on email. We send some social media messages out in the different platforms, okay? More engagement. Then what happens? Some of you come to the shows. Then what happens? A small fraction of you enroll in the programs, right? That's okay. That's all right. For you, it only takes one. For me, I need a number of you to run my business. Do you know what I obsess about? I built this all already. I built the program. I built the model. I built the videos. I built the protocols, the schedule to coach you live, the Zoom sessions and all that stuff. And I spend 85% of my time marketing that. And of the 85% of my time that I spend marketing that, I spend 90% of that 85% on the very top edge of the funnel. How do I get more people to see me initially? Okay? That's what you need to do. I would write those percentages down. 85% of my time should be spent up at the top of the funnel, marketing myself. And I should be obsessed with more of the send outs of my resumes and my covers. And when I'm doing that, I should be watching everything that happens and every characteristic that I could identify that tells me something about what I just did. When did I send it? Who did I send it to? What day of the week? What time of the day? Did they open it? Did they not? Like every single thing I would look at to find the pattern. We do. This is what I do every single day. You should be doing the same exact. Our lives, I say this every week, our lives are not different. They're not. I sit in front of a camera and I talk to you and I help you. But 90% of my time is spent trying to find you and give you something for free. So you need to do that. Dana, one of these days, we need to talk. You need to figure out how to get connected and we need to have a live discussion. And I need to look at this stuff. And I probably can diagnose it pretty damn fast. So because I know this, because I know a lot of the folks that are in the community that have been with me for a while, it's usually pretty easy to tell where it's broken. And all it takes is one thing that unlocks it. There's just one thing missing. I know it's just one thing. It's just one thing. We got to figure out what that is. So I hope that helps. Boy, I really went out on that one. All right. Flying Uber Tuber, great to see you. And Beth, my boot camper. Been absent a bit. That's all right. Oh, my God. Can we all give Beth McKenzie, my boot camper, a high 10 on her engagement? God love you, and lots of luck on your upcoming nuptials, whenever those are. You guys, man, I got to tell you, I almost want to go back. I think I want to shoot a whole little video on this. But so Beth, that's awesome. What's shooting through my head is I'm just talking to Dana over here. Beth gets engaged. And what's going through my head is I once asked somebody to marry me and she didn't say yes. Okay, and I'm sure I don't know if I ever told you that story. But when somebody says, okay, this is back to Dana. All right, Beth, idea in my head about marriage, and I have the loveliest wife, and I have a great relationship with my wife, who I love and like a lot. That's two different things. And I think about all the people like Dana and what you're going through, and all those people who are either not getting back to you or telling you no. You need to thank your lucky stars that somebody's not responding to you or somebody's saying no to you, because it is for your own good. And it's guiding you to something that absolutely will be sensational for you. But it's teaching you something about how to look at, what to look at, and how to change it to get what you ultimately want, what you really deserve, what you really need. And it's not always what you think it is. So anyway, boy, I don't know if I kind of sandwiched that, concatenated those two chats, but God only knows where I go with these things. But both of you, I wish you lots of luck in what you're Beth, for you, big congratulations. Dana, I hope you hang in there, and I hope you unlock what you're looking for. All right, Lily, my boot camper, how you doing? David Mills, hey to you. Oh, wait, David Mills. Oh, I thought I was almost there. We're hopefully Hanyin, my boot camper, hey, and Bob Ashman, my boot camper and leader from is it from Minnesota. And Paul Huber, who is a lucky winner of something last week. Chris Reed, hope you got my message, Chris Reed, in the system, my boot camper. Great to see you. Daniel Venditelli Jr., my boot camper. Look at all those boot campers right in there. Just so a little Yuma, Southern California, north of Mexico, Yuma, Arizona. Isn't Yuma in Arizona? Sandro, hey to you from Switzerland. Sandro, hope you are enjoying that resume writing course. And I saw you went through the whole thing. By the way, that's another thing. You guys in my programs, I see who watches what. Right? We know what you do. We know whether you're enjoying the programs. For those of you that opt into some of my free challenges and things like that, we look to see who's watching what. We want to know if it's working. So I hope that's you. I'm pretty sure that's you, because I think you're Sandra C. in the system. Great to have you from Switzerland. Brandon, the detail guy, love it. Mamacita. Yeah, actually, that is Mamacita. Catherine, hi from the UK. Rasha, my wonderful boot camper and now leader from Qatar. And I think you have some questions in the system. I'll get to you today. I got a session to serve my people later today. Hugh, or Hui, I should say. It is 12 a.m. God bless you. All right, now I'm to the other chat. Ruth, Heidi B, hey to you. And Ruth, look at this. We finally got one. Look at this gal. How cute is that? Let me see if I can. Way over my face. So hang on. I can't even. Let me see if I can. I can't resize it. All right, hang on, Ruth. It's too much. It's talking over my head there. All right, I'm in step 2 interview process and have to fill out formal application. This is normal, actually, more normal than going the other way around. For a professional counselor position, they're asking me to list any personal counseling I have gone to as an individual or as a marital couple or group, describe the type of therapy, a summary of therapy, and what I've learned. I know that counselors are expected to do their own personal therapy for the safety of their clients. Interesting. But this level of detail seems intrusive. Ruth, I would agree on that, but I want to qualify my thoughts here. Also, the application requires me to agree to a minimum of 5-year commitment. Although I live in the right to work state, is this legally binding or should I be concerned? Okay, so Ruth, that's awesome. And apparently on LinkedIn, you can tell me anything you want and you're not really limited by the characters. So boy, that's something. Okay, couple things. Now, I want to preface everything I'm about to say with I only know so much about the medical field, right? And psychology and whether you're a psychologist or psychiatrist or counselor or whatever. So I'm gonna give you my take, and from a sanity perspective, it seems odd that they would ask you for all of that. I would think it would be more appropriate. However, I qualify everything I say. This is just my opinion, and I could be totally off basis, but just as a normal human being, this is what I think. I think it would be wonderful if this is normal protocol that you take personal counseling, that you have a dialogue about this. List out what you have done, and maybe who you did it with or why you did it. And then as part of the interviewing process, ask you what you learned, the lessons, the takeaways, and those kind of things. I think would be appropriate to just have some dialogue about it. How did you grow? How would you apply what you learned to these sessions, and so on and so forth? Seems pretty reasonable to me. It does, especially if that's normal as part of, it's kind of like SOP for what you do. The 5-year minimum commitment, that seems a little ludicrous to me. I don't know. Normally what happens if you are an at-will state, which is what you said, a right to work state. A lot of times we call it at-will. That's what we call it, I think, in Illinois, and what most states call it. But the right to work state, I'm assuming that's the same as at will. And if that's true, then they could let you go for whatever reason, and you can leave for whatever reason. Now, I find it hard to believe that in your line of work that they would want to sideline you for any period of time, meaning you can't go work for any other groups that provide this kind of counseling to such and such within an X square mile radius or mile radius, or whatever it is. So those are my thoughts on that. I here again, I want to wrap it up with, there's only so much I know about that field, but it just seems kind of odd. And normally these are not legally binding. They really are not, because if you're in an at-will state, you can walk at any time. You really can. Now, what it might be, and I'd have to look at the employment contract, but it might be like, this is your rate, this is your whatever for 5 years, right? Like a 5-year contract, and then that's what they're holding you to. But to say I will commit 5 years of my life, that's just ridiculous. I mean, that's just silly. All right, hope that helps. Boot Camper Bob, how you doing? Boot Camper Bob, my favorite number is 27. And I believe, I'm trying to see if, so now I'm getting my chats crossed, because I didn't see, yeah, I hope I didn't miss that, but that's awesome that you were watching. And Bob, I know you follow my tips. I appreciate that. All right, Medina, what keeps you motivated and focused during your daily routines? What's your secret? Medina, you are a leader now for an entire year, which means you get to watch my focus session, my maintaining high energy session, my achieving or becoming a high performer session, and a whole bunch of other sessions that are aimed at what makes this. But there is several things that I do to maintain my outlook and perspective and energy and everything that feeds your ability to process any moment a particular way. Okay? So, starts at a macro level. You got to love what you're doing. And at a minimum, you need to like what you're doing, okay? So I'm not saying that every one of you has to have found your calling and your purpose and has your own business and is bringing it to the world. You don't need to do that. You could be a junior level accountant and enjoy what you're doing. And when you go to your office, to your work, to your community, to whatever it is that you do, and whenever it is that you're doing it, that the way that you look at that is, I do a lot, I practice a lot of my learning through gratitude, that I am so grateful that I have a chance to spend time with you, that somebody is here with me for an hour and 21 minutes, watching, listening, learning, and so on. And I separate every single thing that I do throughout the day. So while I announce things to you and I share things with you and I let you know things are available to you, my focus right now is on helping you. It's not on selling you something. It's not like that stuff takes care of itself when you do each step in the process the right way. So whatever I'm doing at any moment in time is totally focused on what that is at the moment, and I wring every bit of joy out of everything I do at any minute of any time of any day. In order to be able to do that, You cannot be tired at 4 o'clock when you have a call with your client. But what do you do to lead up to the point at 4 o'clock so you are not tired? So it starts with having something that you're pursuing, that you're doing, that you're enjoying. But it also has to do with how you look at the situation. But it also has to do with what you do throughout each day to enjoy that moment. So from the time I get up, everything's designed to make me focus. Everything is designed to make me perform well at that activity, whether it's 3 minutes to open the blinds, a minute and a half to wash the coffee pot and the grinds and get them in the garbage or whatever, to drink my coffee, to meditate. And then as I transition between each activity. So right before I sit down to do this, there's a little break where, say, 10 minutes before, I'm communicating with the team, giving them the answers to the trivia questions and all that good stuff. And then I think about, right before I turn the camera on, or right before we light this up, I think about, God brought me, to you at this time of your lives. You need me. I want to help you, give them a great show. They're going to ask me questions because that's what they need help with. It's not me to judge that, right? Like, everybody has the same problems. I'm going to get some of the same questions. That's okay. Remember that this person is asking me because they don't know. They want my help. So, right, all of these things are designed to make me operate and behave a certain way and enjoy it. So that's why I can do the same thing over and over. I know that when somebody asks me a question where I've talked about it many times before, that person hadn't heard that, right? So like, okay, now we're done with this. I'm going to park what I'm doing. All this is going to be done. I'm going to flick a few buttons, and then I'm going to spend a few minutes, and I'm going to go to lunch. I'm going to spend a few minutes. I'm going to park what I did. I'm going to think about what my next thing is, which is basically packing up my stuff, getting in the car, and going. Then when I come back, I'm going to spend a few minutes and unload all that, and then get ready to call Kara to go through something else that we're doing from a marketing perspective. And I want to think about what I want to get out of that, how she's feeling, what we want to accomplish, right? What we want to learn. And then it's a golden opportunity to learn and do something great, even though the problem makes me want to pull whatever's left of my hair out of my head, right? So I treat it. I'm grateful that I have this problem that I cannot figure out, but will, because I'm not going to give up. And like all of these things feed your ability to maintain your focus, to maintain your stamina, to maintain your energy, to maintain your empathy. Every one of you that's in a customer service capacity, if you are on a phone call with a customer, right, they're calling you because they have problems. And guess what? You're going to deal with one problem after another all day long. Every time you hang up the phone, before you pick up the next one, this person needs my help. They're calling because they're right. Like you have got to get. You should be grateful that you have a job. You should be grateful that this person is calling. You should be grateful that you can help them. Like all of that stuff. And then when you look back, I needed to go through that pain. I needed to learn that. I needed to spend money for that education, right? Like all of that stuff. It is love what you do, or at least like it. Look at it the right way. Put yourself in the proper frame of mind at each stage throughout the day so that you can look at it appropriately, that you can get the most out of it. All of these things contribute to your ability to, your job searching. You wake up on a Monday morning, right? I am grateful that I get a chance to learn about these companies. I am grateful that I get a chance to grow my network. I am grateful that I'm going to find these people. I am grateful that Andy gave me a template so that I don't have to write this damn thing from scratch. Oh, he gave me 7 templates so I don't have to write anything from scratch, right? Like going through every single thing. Are you reminding yourself that this is good fortune for you? That's what makes it work. If you're pissed that you can't find a job, or you're pissed that somebody's not getting back to you, that ain't going to help. So how do you look at it? All those things contribute. So it's not one thing. It's not even going to exercise, diet, and all the other things that contribute to healthy mind and body, right? So if you guys are interested in a lot of this stuff, this is what's in the leadership program. Things like this are in there. I really hope you take me up on it, or at least check it out. Maybe we could drop that in the chat. All right, let's try to get some more in here before we knock it off for the day. Catherine Hindoian, great to have you. First time on LinkedIn. Let's give you a shout out. From the UK, so it's what, 6:30, maybe cocktail time. Martha Hennigan, my boot camper, how are you? Abhishek, hey to you. San Led, that's a new name. Maybe that's I don't know, maybe I haven't seen you before, but happy to have you. Paridhi, hey to you. Oj Blaze from Florida, I hope that Chris Reed, hey, had a phone interview. Ooh, let's swap ya. Chris Reed, the nicest boot camper in the world. Phone interview yesterday with HR. I sent her a thank you email. After I applied through the ATS, I found out who the hiring manager is. Should I send him an email now or wait? Great question. Okay. Couple of things. You're in. That's it. You're in. Follow the steps they give you. I mean, I want you to be prudent, right? You sent the thank you email. Make sure you're connecting with, you phone interview with the HR person, right? So make sure you're connecting with her. Every single time, Chris, that you have an interview, what's the next step? By when am I going to hear from you? Or by when and who? So is that you? You're the quarterback. You just stay in the lane, okay? You haven't gotten to the hiring official yet, so don't worry about that. Don't send him or her or them or anybody connection requests. Don't send them emails. Don't do any of that. You're just going to tick off the HR person. And the other thing is, you don't know how the hiring official is going to proceed. It's like, hey, Chris, we got a process for this. Are you a rule breaker kind of thing? At that point, hold on. Let's be real clear about what, there's rules you can break and rules that I wouldn't break. Like, don't go put your application in the applicant trashing system. You call them up and you say, hey, I'm trying to get my application in, but it's broken. I can't get it in there. Who do I call? Who do I email? What am I, whatever. Like, that's okay. You break that rule. But when you get in the process, stay the course, follow the rules along the way. Be prudent, right? Be respectful, be prudent, but stay in the lane. You got the contact. You're in the process. And I would be asking that HR person, hey, I'm looking forward to the next step. When's that going to be? When will you communicate? What's the process look like? All that good stuff. Do not send them, him, them, her, the group, anybody else, anything. Just stay with that person. Build a relationship with that HR person or recruiter and get them to be an advocate. And if you are respectful to them in their process, ask them questions about, hey, the hiring official, what is he or she like? What's important to them? Like, what can you tell me about this so I can make sure that I can shine the light on the right pieces of my background, and make sure that I have the right stories or projects that I can share with them, right? Like, just leverage that person and build a relationship with that person. Throw all your energy into that. Don't dilute it by sending stuff to other people at this point. Great question. Okay, folks, 12:30 straight down. I got to run because we got a ton of stuff. Real quick, if you want anything, get into the support queue and let us know what you want, and Kara will get you all fixed up. Check me out on Instagram. I love that platform. I'd love to get connected with you there, with LinkedIn as well. I'm on Twitter. I'm on everything. Facebook. Wherever you like, I want to be there. But Instagram is the platform that I really work. I mean, it has got a lot of great stuff on it. And what's really nice about it is I don't have that many followers. So people ask me questions, I can answer them there. So it's kind of nice. They don't get lost. I see everything. But so that's cool. And then make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. Make sure that you open your email tomorrow, because I got the weekly roundup for you, which I love to give you on Fridays. That's becoming pretty much a standard thing. And I'll be here next Tuesday with a recorded video on Tuesday, a great one on how to know when it's the right time to make a change, and how to decide when to make a change or change jobs. Thursday, I'm back here with you all for live office hours. On Friday, I'm with my leadership group. The following Thursday, I'm with my job search boot campers. If you have any questions, support@malwalk.com. All right, you all, have a great one. See you soon.